hope you're enjoying the weekend. I thought I'd hop on here because it's been a while, and since I have shown people around our place. My husband and I sold our house in the city. We are total city folk. We sold our house in April of 2017 in the middle of the city. We walked everywhere. We were out all the time, and we sold and we bought our dream home, which is 10 acres in the country. We have no idea what we're doing, okay? We're not farmers. We don't come from a farming background. But when we did live in the city, we lived in like our little postage stamp lot, right? We had garden beds, like raised garden beds where we grew veggies. We had self-watering plant containers on every deck of our house. We had herbs that we were growing. We had tomatoes, zucchinis, peppers, beans, peas. Like we grew everything on our deck, right, in our little planters. But I thought I'd show you today trading that in the city. You can still do that all on your deck and in your front yard in the city and grow fruits and veggies. But we moved out to the farm, and like I said, we didn't know what we were doing. We have bought books. We've learned from books. We've learned from Google. We've learned from YouTube. We have no idea. Hey, Chelsea, she knows way more about farming than we do. But I thought that I'd show you what we've been up to. So Izzy and I, over the past couple of weeks, we're teaching her about how to grow a garden. So we germinated seeds, something I had to learn about, that you put seeds on wet paper towel, fold it over and put them in plastic bags and let them sit in the sun for a couple of days. And it shows you what seeds are going to pop and what seeds are going to grow, because not all seeds will grow. Some are duds, some maybe have been expired and you don't know. So we have germinated seeds, and then we took those seeds and we planted them in little egg cartons and little smaller containers. So we've got broccoli sprouts, we've got tomatoes that are growing, we have different types of lettuce. Our lettuce is not doing very well, by the way. Radishes, these are, I think this is spinach. Those are more radishes, different types of lettuce, cucumber, butternut squash, I think that this is a pepper plant. These two are pepper plants, more lettuce. So we've been growing them that way, just kind of on the windowsill, because it hasn't been warm enough to do it outside yet. But we're actually starting to utilize our outside space now because the weather's getting better. So I'm going to take you outside and show you what we've been doing. So over the last couple of years, we've planted pots around the house, around the yard, that for strawberries. So those will grow into strawberry plants. And then off the back patio, we have, our kitchen is right here. So we come out the back, and then we've got some thyme, some rosemary over in those pots over there. There's sage. And what else do we have? I see rhubarb right now that we've planted right there. Now, if you look up on the hill, so this is, here, let me tap it so that it's not so bright. I wonder if I can do that. If you guys can see that, can you see that, or is it way too bright? Let's try and go this way. But basically, all of this behind me that's cleared, all of this land, it's too bright right now. I'm going to see if I can flip it so that you can see. There we go. So all of this used to be treed. All of this area up here behind our house used to be treed, and Ryan cleared it all. We sold the lumber that was all up there. He picked rocks for days and days and days. And then these are all these lines. There's 5, and we only have about half of it planted. There's a bunch over here too, but we only have about half of it planted. And these are lines of apple trees. They're cider apple trees, and there are 50 different varieties, because you actually, when you make cider, you do a blend of apples. I'll show you our other garden patch as well, where we have some matured apple trees. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 down there, and we get between 250, depending on a bumper crop year, we get between 250 and 400 pounds of apples from those 4 trees. It's absolutely insane. So I'll take you down there. Over here, I'll show you. So over here beside the shed, this tree is a hazelnut tree. So we have hazelnuts there. If you see all the birdhouse, can you see all the bird? Yeah, you can. Hold on. All the birdhouses. We're almost out of it. And there's Larry. Hey, Larry, come here, bud. Hey, buddy. Hi, boy. You're such a good boy. This is Larry, if you haven't met Larry. He's a mini Aussie and he runs the yard, right, Lair? He sure does. Okay, so I'm going to take you down here and show you. This is our little garden patch that was here when we got here for the apples up there. Well, I work online. He does that. So these apple trees are the ones that have, like, we've gotten like 400, like 400 pounds and made like 200 liters of cider or something. Hey, Rye, how many liters of cider?
Pardon me?
How many liters of cider did we make with 400 pounds of apples?
Came out to about 100.
100 liters of cider. And then so these garden beds, we cover them again, guys, like we Googled everything. Like, we are city folk. Okay. So these, like, Ryan has done such an incredible job. All of these have, so you can cover them if you want, or we can put mesh over them if the birds or bunnies get to become an issue. But all of these will uncover really soon and start putting plants in because it's starting to get warm enough. This one here too, but we grow zucchini, cucumber, tomato, peppers. We've grown broccoli, Brussels sprouts, celery, all of your herbs, potatoes. I'm trying to think what else. Gosh, so many different things. We're growing carrots this year, which you mix like sand and soil in. And then these are like, we've had these pots forever, these self-watering containers that Ryan, I want to grow in there. Use your imagination. But we've used these all over the place, and you can move them. But it's sweet because there's a water reserve underneath here. So if this fills up with water and then it's dirt, and then you actually fill the water right here. So you only have to water these like once a week. You don't really have to pay much attention to it, which is pretty cool. And then the other thing that I love, we only got one peach last year, but this is our peach tree, and it's got quite a few blossoms on it this year. So we're hopeful, but the peach was amazing. Like, I was really surprised that we could grow peaches. We just and then this is Anjou pear. This one's an Anjou pear. So this one's kind of like, we've got a few trees in here. Our cherry tree didn't make it. Well, better luck next time. You can't win them all. That's what you learn with gardening, is that you cannot win them all. And then I'll show you a couple of weeks ago when this whole quarantine thing happened. When we moved in, Ryan bought a greenhouse and had it delivered, and then it sat in our garage for 2 years. So because it's like a big undertaking, you guys, like 62 pages of instructions, like IKEA instructions. So Ryan and I spent a few afternoons out in the sun at like 3. It took us 3 days. We called it marriage counseling. It was great. We totally worked together. He did all the hard stuff, and I just read the instructions, and we totally worked as a team. But it's 8 by 8. So like, here, hold on. I'll flip it. So it's 8 by 8. And then Ryan was awesome enough to build, I don't even know if it's unlocked. I think it is. Yeah. So he built these shelves that like still allow, we have some lettuce growing in here right now, but like I said, all of the plants that are up there are going to go into this today. We're going to bring all those plants that are in the house today down here and then grow new ones. But he did these awesome shelves in here that let the light through, so you can still put stuff on the bottom shelf, and then it automatically opens when it gets too warm in here, and we've got vents that are going on, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll go let the chickens out. So we also took on baby chicks when we moved out here. We need to get some more chickens, so if you know anyone that's selling chickens, we need more laying hens. But we decided that we were going to take on baby chicks, and I think we got like 20 of them. And you need hens to lay eggs, and we had like more than half were roosters. So that was an interesting situation. And roosters get mean. They're beautiful, by the way. The roosters are way more beautiful than the hens. But again, my husband got rid of some of them, and we made soup. There you go. So, and bone broth, which is what we actually did. So we had our chickens, like, I'll show you the little enclosed area, but we had to put a big chicken run in that's covered because we had hawks that were taking out our chickens. So like hawks would like come in, and like, there goes Gracie. That's our other dog. Hey, Gracie, girl, come here, sweetie. Oh, my girl, how are you? Hi, ladies. Ryan calls them his ladies. Come on. Let's go. There you go. Come on. Come on. It's okay. You can come. Come on, guys. And then we let them go out into the yard. So we used to have a lot more. Now we just, we only have 5. Because that's what happens when you live on the country, out in the... I'm sorry, I don't want to bug you. Okay, we're going to move because I don't want to bug her. She's a little bit upset with me because she was going to lay an egg. Make that sound when they're upset or when they're laying an egg, actually. And actually, they only really lay consistently for about 1.5 years, and then they don't lay as many. So out of these 5 chickens, we get about 3 eggs a day. And then this is our sheep shed. We don't have sheep. We borrow our neighbors sometimes to fertilize and cut the grass. But I'm going to tell you something. It's really nice to have a neighbor that you look out on and you see their horses and their animals, and you don't have to take care of them. I feel like it's winning. And then we have our little fire pit here, which is quite beautiful in the evening. Little chickies are out for a play. So they like being in the yard. Gracie, I don't know what you're going to do. She's probably looking for their food. Are you looking for their food, you monkey? I know, baby. Okay, so we'll go up here. And the last thing that I want to show you is our little bee house. Because my husband, we wanted to support the bee culture here, obviously, if we're going to have a bunch of apple trees and blossoms, and we need to pollinate, because you need to pollinate for them to... Stay there, Gracie. You need to pollinate for them to bear fruit. Here, there's one of the... Can you see it? Yeah, Ryan made me those. A bunch of those. So then we got one of these little bee hotels. If you want to know where to get these, it's pretty cool, right? Send me a message and I will tell you. I'll send you the name or the email of the people. Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
But I'll show you. He's scared that I'm going to fall over, which I might. So they look like this. You put them up. And then they come with these little containers. Look in there. Those are the bees. Ooh, scared me. Sorry. One just came out of the house. I told you I was a city girl. So the bees are there in little baby cocoons. And then when they hatch, because it gets warm, they find their homes there and they go lay eggs in there. And then you multiply your bees like over and over and over again. So you get more and more bees every year. So yeah, that's what we're so far on our little farm. Hey, babe.
Yep.
This is the guy that's behind it all.
Hello.
He's doing all the work, and I just get to show off his handiwork because he's amazing. Thank you. So yeah, that is our little place on the farm, and I thought I'd share that with you today. Step-by-step process. It's kind of cool to document this stuff, right? Like be able to go back and look in a couple of years what we have. We'll put our pool out soon, and it's gonna be amazing. Hope you guys are having an awesome weekend. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about urban farming, how you can produce veggies and stuff in your yard, even in the city, right? Like we did a lot of veggies in the city. Shoot me a message and I'm happy to recommend a couple of books that we used, or how we made how Ryan made the self-watering containers. Like I'm more than happy to do that, because with the self-watering containers, a timer on your watering system, and self-watering, self-feeding chicken coop, you can kind of get away for a few days, right? And like not have to be at the farm all the time. That was our biggest concern taking all of this stuff on, is like, do we have to be home all the time because we love to travel? Not that that's an issue right now, but it's really allowed us a lot more freedom. And the other cool thing about living in this kind of rural area is that your neighbors have your back. I know that life is shifting a little bit, and I feel that that's going to be more common, but like we barely knew our neighbors in the city, and we lived there for 10 years. Here, everybody checks in on everybody. If you go away for a couple of days, your neighbor's going to watch your yard. Like everyone is amazing, and we just take care of each other. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to move to the country. Being a small town girl at heart, this is where I wanted to raise my daughter. And I'm pretty grateful that, us building gardens together and having chickens, like she really does appreciate a lot more than... She just appreciates like life a little bit more, right? Like she appreciates food and how hard it is to come by and the work that goes behind it. It's a really good thing for kids to learn. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye.